Maybe Robbie Gordon has a chance yet to catch Emmo.
You know, another interesting thing, a Chevrolet engine was thought about in June of last year, and they have 65 engines built already by now. But there really isn't any development time, whereas Ford has had a whole year on it, Paul.
You're talking about the Chevrolet, what they call the C engine, which was developed from the middle of last year, seeing its first race here today, as opposed to the Ford, which was merely an upgrade of last year.
Right.
Back in the field, the battle for sixth place involves Bobby Rahal, the defending IndyCar champion. You're on board with him now, and Eddie Cheever, who sits just behind him. These two have been at it constantly throughout the afternoon. And Eddie Cheever has really been smoking the tires, trying to get around Rahal at every opportunity.
Bobby Rahal's True Sports car is not quite as fast as should be, but boy, he's been driving the heck out of it
Yeah,
today.
But they call it now the Rahal Hogan 1 as we come on board with Al Unser Jr. And they say they're going to have a new version of that car out probably sometime late June, early July, not in time for the Indy 500. Al Unser Jr. as he moves inside of Scott Brayton. Scott Brayton was running just ahead of him for a bit, and now he puts Brayton down, and his next target is that car that you just saw of Gary Brabham. Nigel Mansell still out in front, but the lead changes only by a second, 18 seconds in front of Emerson Fittipaldi. There are now 7 laps to go, but long laps they are, 2.7 miles around this 16-turn course. Back on board with Danny Sullivan. Let's see how fast his heart is going. A heart-stopping drive for Danny.
I don't know what all those little lines mean. They have to get the numbers up there for me.
There you go. Got a flash at 171.
Well, that means he's probably getting a little bit tired. Of course, it's almost the end of the race, so he should be tired by now.
Danny Sullivan, not with his best of days, currently runs in 13th place. So he has gotten a little ahead of his teammate, Al Unser Jr. Changing cars for that team this year, going over to Lola's, leaving the Galmer machine that won a couple of races for him last year, including the Indianapolis 500 for Little Al.
Look how smooth Nigel is right now. He's just smooth as silk. And the reason is he has nobody to race with him, as you said just a few minutes ago. Emerson has no fuel to race hard. He must go slow, so Nigel just going to coast and make sure he doesn't have any problems the rest of the way.
Nigel has dropped off his high-speed run considerably. His fastest lap was at 101. He's now turning laps at 97.1 miles an hour. That's a full mile an hour and a half slower than Emerson Fittipaldi. But that's a calculated run. This is an incredibly smart racing driver who now knows if he is to win, he must pace himself to the finish. So in first place, it's Nigel, followed by Fittipaldi, Robbie Gordon, Mario Andretti, and Arie Luyendyk. Back at Surfers Paradise, Australia, under bright blue skies and sunshine, Nigel Mansell may be on his way to a historic finish in the Indy cars. He's averaging 20 miles an hour faster than last year's lap record, but his lead over Emerson Fittipaldi is steadily being whittled away because now he must play a very tactical game, trying to stretch his fuel tank the remaining 3 laps to the end of this race. Fittipaldi is 15 seconds behind, but he is being attacked by Robbie Gordon. Now Gordon closed down to within attack distance, but then between Gordon and Fittipaldi lies Bobby Rahal with a battle of his own going with Eddie Cheever. That's a battle for 6th place. So Rahal wants to hold off Cheever if he can.
You know, Robbie Gordon, I've been watching, he hasn't been gaining. He hasn't been passing these other 2 cars. We know that Emmo hasn't been using full power. He has no fuel. He short shifts, he turns his boost down. But watch Robbie Gordon at the top of the screen there. The black car in the last place right there. He's just not gaining, Paul.
But he's playing it very smart. He doesn't really want to get up into that other fight until he has to, but that time is coming very quickly.
He doesn't have much time left, and that's got a Ford engine in it. We think that the Fords are outdoing Chevrolet on the fuel mileage right now. So if Robbie was ever going to have the speed, now's the time to do it.
You know, that's the beauty of the first race of the season. All of these cars have been in testing all throughout the winter, and there's great press releases coming out on how really great they are and how they're doing. This is the first contact in anger, and where we find out where the truth truth really lies. Let's go down to the pits and Jack a Root.
Well, Paul, we've already talked about the fact that Robbie Gordon drives for the legendary A.J. Foyt, but if you talk to Robbie Gordon, you ask him who his boss is, he says Michael Krenefis from Ford Motor Company. You all know upstairs that that's one of the moves they started and transferred from Winston Cup competition here to IndyCar competition, where motor companies now take rising young stars and bring them along.
How lucky could a young man be to be picked up by a guy like Krenefis, a guy that heads all racing for Ford Motor Company?
So the fight continues for second place. Mansell is now only 12 seconds in front of Emerson Fittipaldi. The white flag should come out the next time by, indicating 1 lap to go as this battle continues on, rages on, in fact.
There's Emo, short shifting, cut back on fuel. Still way back, not any way in the world unless Mansell has problems and he can catch him. But look at the crew that he's holding up.
While we watch this battle, there goes Robbie Gordon making his move as he comes around Cheever, who slowed down just a bit.
Cheever smoked, Paul. Something happened to his car because Gordon got by as the smoke came out of Cheever.
So Robbie Gordon moves up, not yet a position. The world's best tennis players have battled all week in Key Biscayne, Florida. Now a winner's share of over $200,000 in one of the game's most coveted titles is up for grabs. It's the men's finals of the Lipton Championships. That's coming up next, right after the racing here on ABC Sports. Back at the front of the field, the white flag has come out. Is there enough fuel in Fittipaldi's car? Fittipaldi is now just 9 seconds back, and Robbie Gordon sits almost behind Fittipaldi. He has only to handle up Bobby Rahal. So this race most certainly is not over yet.
You think strategies don't change at the very last of the race when there's no fuel left? Everybody is wondering. You know, they have all of their onboard computers, but they don't even believe those when it gets down this close.
A very partisan crowd here in Australia in favor of Nigel Mansell. They are going to go nuts. They did so when he scored his pole position. Now they have a new award for pole, $10,000 for pole. And if the pole winner can also win the race, it's another $15,000. So it's going to be a very lucrative day for Nige if he can only make it to the checkered flag.
Yes.
There's that battle going on still. Robbie Gordon has not made it around Rahal, though he tries him there.
Well, I don't think Robbie Gordon is really trying right now. He's just hanging on. He's going to settle for third place.
Would be a smart maneuver if he did so. But now Robbie Gordon is around Rahal, and now is trying to close and pass Fittipaldi. This is the battle on the field as Nigel Mansell continues his pursuit of the checkered flag and his first IndyCar victory.
Now, Emo's not going to just give up and let him pass. Emo will run it out of fuel before he'll let Gordon pass.
Watching for Nigel Mansell, looking for Jim Swintal's checkered flag. And it will be a history-making event, too, as here he comes. Nigel Mansell has scored the victory in the Kmart Haviland Lola. Despite 2 different mistakes during the race, but let's listen to the car. Let's see if he has fuel all the way to the finish. Coming across in second, Emerson Fittipaldi. Robbie Gordon third, Mario Andretti fourth. Does Nigel have any fuel left in that car? Can he go the remaining 2.7 to make it back to the winner's circle? Now, he's going to wave at the crowd, but I don't think he's got the fuel to make it. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Paul, he says that on the radio that he ran out of fuel as he took the checkered, and we could hear the engine start to misfire, we believe, as he went by. I don't think he'll be able to get back around.
Boy, they better do a special compensation for whoever calculated the fuel load on that car.
And
as
Jim McGee,
Nigel Mansell rolls to a stop. But all you have to do is get across that line.
It shows you the pit crews don't always tell us the truth. They thought they had enough, or they knew that they had enough, but we out-figured them on that because we didn't think that they were going to be, we didn't really think he was going to have enough, did we?
Well, you didn't, but he made it. All you have to do is make it to the finish line. Nigel Mansell has done it. He makes history here today. The defending Formula One champion knows exactly what IndyCar racing is about and is showing this crowd and the world what he's made of. I hope that he has enjoyed it.
It's certainly
Carl Haas and everybody congratulating one another on a terrific victory and a very tactical win. Running out of fuel on his victory lap, Nigel Mansell hitches a ride with a safety truck and now is with our Jackaroo.
Nigel, congratulations.
Thank you. That's fantastic, and a great credit to the team.
What went through your mind when you had that tire that you thought was going down? He's getting the congratulations now, Carl Haas. Pretty evident that what went through your mind when you had the tire go down? You had to come in for the extra stop.
I was disappointed, but it was my own fault because I clipped the curb probably too hard and punctured it. But I was even lucky on the last set of tires. I hit the barrier real hard coming out of one of the chicanes with about 15 laps to go, and I mean the tires and wheels are real strong.
Concern about the fuel at the end. Describe it.
Oh boy, I mean I had to get 1.9 on the fuel meter for the last few laps, and I was just about doing it, but then coming out the fast chicane on the last lap, the engine started to quit. I just put it in fourth gear and prayed I could get around the next corners, and as you can see, I just got past the straight and it stopped completely at the end.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the way to victory, Mansell shattered the track record by nearly 20 miles an hour, averaging 97.2 miles an hour, followed by Fittipaldi, Robbie Gordon with a great run, Mario Andretti, and Ari Luyendyk. 18 of the cars that started this run finished the day. Bobby Rahal with a good run, battling with Eddie Cheever most of the way. And it just predicts what a tremendous year we're going to have in the Indy cars this season, 93. Now second place, Emerson Fittipaldi in a fuel battle of his own. And he is with our Gary Gerould.
Emerson, you come down the stretch trying to challenge. Did you have enough fuel that you could really race?
Well, I was very frustrated in the car that the pit, Chuck was keeping me down, keep the revs down, and I want to race Nigel. I was just very frustrated the last 2-3 laps because I want to go for, but they asked me to save, and I was very close indeed.
Well, the defending champ has to settle for second today as we go to Jack Arute.
And he is getting the congratulations. Third place, Robbie Gordon. Terrific finish.
Yeah, there at the beginning, I let Paul go. I let them go. Unfortunately, I had a good shot at Nigel, so I went for him. And then I figured we were running a little too hard there at the beginning, so I backed off, and I said I was going to let Nigel go back by. I let him right back by. And unfortunately, we lost a clutch at the last pit stop and, couldn't get her going on the get-go, or we could have got Emmo for second.
2 weeks from today, the Indy cars will be at Phoenix International Raceway for the Valvoline 200, the first oval race of the IndyCar season right here on ABC Sports. Well, Nigel Mansell makes history by being the first rookie ever to win from the pole. He is a champion by every definition of the word, and we hope that he enjoys his year in the IndyCar as much as we're going to enjoy watching him. It was a great race, and it just predicts an incredible IndyCar season. So from the land down under at Surfer's Paradise and its soft sandy beach, this is Paul Page for Bobby Unser, Gary Gerould, and Jack Arute. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Phoenix.